Welcome back into One on One. I am joined here by Greg Levinsky. Greg's been working with Big Time Hoops Maine all year, podcaster, columnist, you name it, he does it. Greg, thanks for coming on with me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
So ahead of these state finals matchups is being recorded on Wednesday, Class A on Friday. We'll start there. We'll just go in order of what's going on. The girls first, that is Lawrence and Brunswick. Brunswick's been a wagon all year. Lawrence, great game against Gardner. What do you see from that matchup? What's it going to take for, on my side, what's going to take for the North to win?
Yeah, I think the problem for Lawrence or any team facing Brunswick is that Brunswick doesn't have an A1 superstar. They just have a lot of really good players. So stopping them is going to involve stopping them as a team. So for Lawrence, it's really playing that team game, and it's kind of opposite of that Gardner game, right? Where in Gardner, you need to figure out what you're going to do with Lizzie. You either let her go off and stop everyone else, or try to stop Lizzie and then let everyone else do their thing. And this is kind of the opposite. So I think it's going to be a really big defensive effort for a team like Lawrence to come away with this victory in a game against Brunswick. And I think if you're Lawrence, you want to slow Brunswick down a bit if you can, but you don't want to play it too slow because Brunswick's got a lot of size and length, and they can do the milk the clock thing too, like we see a lot of teams try.
Milking the clock is always fun, but we'll move on to that A boys game now. I was talking to Brewer earlier in the week. They said Falmouth is kind of similar to Skowhegan in the pace that they play, but they're well coached. They have good strategy. What's it going to take for the Witches to grab that first gold ball in program history? And then for Falmouth, too, rebounding off of the gold ball loss is going to be a great game.
Yeah, it's called the Cooper Flag Revenge Tour without Cooper Flag, right? Because he's off the greener pastures doing his thing at the highest level. But both of these teams lost to Cooper Flag en route to the ending their seasons last year. Of course, Nokomis in the regional, or Nokomis beat Brewer in the regional final. Then Falmouth loses in the state championship game. For Brewer, I think they just have to play how they played pretty much the whole year. We've been nitpicking their one loss, and which is crazy because they have one loss and they've crushed every team that they've really had a tough time with early on. They had that Messalonsky game that went into overtime, and then whatever, they lose to Skowhegan and they blow them out. I think Brewer just needs to play how they play. I think that they are bigger than Falmouth at almost every position, especially because Chris Simons for Falmouth broke his foot in a practice before the playoffs. He's their 6'6" big guy who was pretty good. Again, I think in this case, it's the orange and black team that's favored a little bit, but obviously that's Brewer. I think Brady Saunders should be Mr. Basketball this year if they win the state championship. He just needs to do his thing. He's been so efficient. And then, guys like Brock Flagg, Evan Neto, Ryder Goodwin just kind of need to fill their roles and play their game, and they can really contend with anybody.
And on Saturday, that'll wrap up Friday. I'm excited for those. I'll be in Augusta for those.
Yeah, me too. I can actually meet you in real life. Let's go.
Let's go. I'm pumped for that. That's awesome. I might be in Portland Saturday too, depending on the weather. So it could be back to back.
Yeah, we'll see.
Let's stay with the boys now. I'm excited for that B game, Orono Oceanside. A lot of people expected, I know you were talking to me about Chance Mercier right before that game. A lot of people expected Ellsworth. Orono kind of just showed they proved something. What is it going to take for them to keep that rolling?
Yeah, you're going to have to keep up in the track meet with Oceanside. Oceanside, when they want to play the way they play, they score like 80 points a game. So Pierce Walstons of the world are going to have to do their diligence defensively on Cohen and Carter Galley and the rest of those boys from Oceanside. But I think that Orono has a good chance in this one, knocking off the undefeated Ellsworth team and really playing, it sounds like, team ball. Can get you really far in a tournament.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. In the other Class B game, two teams that not a lot of people probably expected. They're Spruce Mountain and Ellsworth. Just real quick, who's the favorite in the battle of maybe not underdogs, but the two teams that probably weren't picked on the brackets?
Yeah, Ellsworth feels like they're here a year early almost because all their players, for the most part, are freshmen and sophomores. Spruce Mountain, again, though, not terribly senior heavy. God, picking it. I don't even think I could pick a favorite in that one because you really don't know what to expect. I want to say the favorite. I want to say, I don't know. I think it's Spruce Mountain just because they had knocked off Oceanside, and everyone thought Oceanside was going to roll to a state championship. But that being said, Ellsworth knocked off undefeated Old Town. So, God, I don't know. I think that one's the toss-up to me, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. Ellsworth plays a really fun style of basketball. I think they set a B North program record for three-pointers, which is interesting. In C, you have Dexter, who could pull it off, and then Callis has been on a roll on the boys' side. Just what do you see from those two C games in Bangor?
Starting with the girls again, I think it's going to be a matchup of contrasting styles. I think Elise McNair may be the breakout or the player of the tournament across all classes. I mean, she's averaging like 30 points a game and the team scores 40. But I know Dexter is a team that really prides itself on its defense. So I think that it could be a really interesting game. See what they draw up to stop Elise. On the boys' side, man, Jace Cook's been balling out. I mean, he has like 40 points every game. Um, yeah, I mean, I think that why not ride Callis? I guess. They've had a great year, and Jace Cook seems to be a big game player and puts up big game numbers. So I'm excited to see kind of how that one goes as well. Um, but Dirigo reigning champs. So Charlie Houghton had a huge game in the regional final, so that one could be good.
Yeah, Dirigo. I mean, a big shot chuck for Charlie Houghton last year with the buzzer beater, a big game in the regional finals. That was probably one of my favorite ones. I'm excited for that. I mean, that'll do it for our state finals previews. I'll keep you on the line here for a second, but that'll do it for this edition of One on One. Ryan, we'll send it back to you.